the vehicle. Despite life-saving efforts, the girl died. A California man is facing charges for purposefully driving into a group of law enforcement recruits.
The man who drove into a crowd of Los Angeles County Sheriff's recruits allegedly did so on purpose. The LA County Sheriff's Office added the Wednesday crash was a deliberate act. Nicholas Joseph Gutierrez is charged with attempted murder after 25 people were injured. From the USA Radio News Phoenix Bureau, I'm Tim Berg.
The retired bishop of Albany, New York, who has admitted to covering up predator priests, has asked Pope Francis to remove him from the priesthood. Emeritus Bishop Howard Hubbard announced the decision Friday. The 84-year-old said that he could no longer function as a priest, giving U.S. church policy that bars accused priests from ministry. Hubbard himself has been accused of sexual abuse. Listen to us anytime, anywhere at usaradio.com. For USA Radio News, I'm Kenneth Burns.
Improve fuel mileage with Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner at O'Reilly Auto Parts. A clean fuel system can increase your vehicle's performance and gas mileage. Get Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner starting at $9.99 and earn 10 times O rewards points on your purchase. Get the most out of every gallon. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts or shop O'ReillyAuto.com today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WVDF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey, Joey, what's happening? I mean, what's happening in Middleboro and surrounding towns? It's time for the Middleboro Week in Review with your host, Joey Driscoll. Stay tuned for news, Middleboro news, here on AM 1530 WVBF. Hey, Joey, what's happening?
Good morning and welcome to Middleboro in Review. It is the 20th of November 2022. And I want to say good morning to Don. Good morning, Don.
Good morning, Joey.
Let's start off right off the bat with our weather today, because we got a lot going on in weather. Not just here, but in Driscoll, Texas, Driscoll, North Dakota, and we're going to sprinkle in a little bit of talking about Buffalo as well. First off, let's start off with Buffalo. Buffalo got hit with a massive snowstorm, or is still, I think, it's still snowing, or there's still a lake effect snow warning in effect until 1 p.m. this afternoon in Buffalo. 6 feet of snow in a lot of places in Buffalo. I saw a picture of the Buffalo Bills football stadium, and it was filled to the brink with snow. You could barely see the seats. There was a lot in that stadium. Again, lake effect snow warning stays in effect until 1 p.m. this afternoon. Additional 6 inches of snow expected in Buffalo. Very, very... one of the biggest storms, I think, in the New York area in a very long time. 26 degrees today, so it's going to be below average, so that's not going to be good for the snow. When you have below average, below 32-degree temperatures, when you have really, really cold temperatures, snow tends to become hard, and that's not always a good thing either. Tomorrow's 41 degrees in Buffalo, so it'll warm up a little bit, but not a whole lot. There will be some melting of this snow, I think, this week, for sure. Mid-40s towards the end of the week. Some rain in the forecast on Friday, which is pretty good at getting rid of snow as well. So there'll be some chances for that snow to be melted away. But 6 feet of snow. Don, your thoughts on the Buffalo snowstorm?
Well, those Great Lakes, they're like oceans. They have their own weather patterns. They've always have. And Buffalo and that whole upstate New York area, Syracuse, Rochester, it's, all the points along Lake Ontario, it's always been walled up by snow. But this is pretty bad. And it's, it's not even Thanksgiving, November 20th, so it's early. And you talk about the melting, which gotta be careful. You don't want it to melt too fast because you don't want to. There's a lot of snow fell.
Yeah.
So you want it to melt normally. You don't want to have a 50-degree day like next week.
Like today's gonna be pretty cold, 26 degrees.
Yeah. Well, that's because the cold front's moving out, and it's just once that blows over and the sun can get, and there's no sun either. There's no.
Yeah.
I mean, the sun's probably blocked out. So that is like one of the most beautiful part of the country that I know of, that I've been to. It's really nice up there, but it just goes to show. We're 300 something miles away. We can hop in a Hyundai and head out there and be there, in about 8 hours, and that'd be a whole different landscape. It'd be like driving to the moon right now. A whole different everything. You can't even drive there. Roads are closed. You won't get there in a Hyundai anyway.
I know we had our major, we had the major blizzards and snowstorms here in this area before as well. There was one in the 70s. I'm not sure about that one. If we got 6 feet of snow on that one, I'm not sure.
I think we had a lot of snow, but what you're talking about, the blizzard of '78, and I was up in Florida at the time. I missed it, but with the problem with, I think we've gotten more after. I think in 2014, I think we got a snow total that was more. The problem was everyone was out, and everyone got stuck.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone, years ago in the '70s, people went to work in a snowstorm. There wasn't no cancel work in the '70s for snows. People got up and they went to work. And there wasn't the cancellation. Government, state, local governments didn't cancel their work. Companies didn't, everyone had to show up for work. That's just how it was.
Yeah. Even
kids went to school. And then it was a traffic nightmare. That was the problem. It got so bad, and they let everyone, I think what happened in the blizzard, they let everyone out like at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, get out early, because it was getting really bad. And then everyone was stuck on the highway. Everyone got stuck. And then that's what made it so bad. It was just all the people that were out in it made it really bad. There was a lot of snow, and then I know the North Shore and the South Shore got walloped too, that they always do anyway. But in storms recently, everyone gets off the road. And I remember, not sure what year it was. I think it might have been in 2000. Not sure what year, but we had a snowstorm, and former Governor Deval Patrick said everyone off the road. And everyone's crying, hey, you can't do that. Yeah, you can. He's the governor. And he said you just can't drive on the roads. We're not telling you can't go out. You can go for a walk or whatever you want to do. I think he said it something like that. In this, what I'm saying, you can go out, go for a walk, but everyone's off the roads unless you have a job. You have to get to work. And you know what? There was no problems. They had the roads cleared by the next day, and everything was moving. You let a lot of these vehicles drive in this weather, especially tractor trailers, and they jackknife. I've driven myself tractor trailers in the snowstorm. It's not fun.
Yeah.
It's not fun. In New York, of all places. And I almost jackknife on I-90 over in the Berkshire section of the New York Thruway. I was coming back from Schenectady. And I didn't like it. So a lot of these tractor trailers, I'm not sure if they just want to keep working or they're forced by the dispatches to go out and drive, but they end up jackknifing, and then that's it. The road's closed down, and that's it. You're done. So that's the problem. These trucks jackknife, and I couldn't imagine being stuck on the side. I was stuck on the side of the road one time. I had to pull off and wait out a snowstorm in the middle of the night, and I waited like 3 or 4 hours, and then I hopped back on the road, got to the New York state line, Massachusetts state line, and I stopped at a truck stop, got something to eat, and I waited it out 8 hours. I didn't leave till 11 o'clock the next morning. And you know what? I made it home. I wasn't stuck in a ditch. I didn't slide in. I didn't roll the truck. I didn't get killed. Nothing happened. It's just people are not patient. They think they can just hop in and drive in this kind of weather, and you really can't. So
You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
my thoughts and prayers to the people in the Buffalo, upstate New York area. I hope you guys get through this safe. Be careful. Help your neighbor. Check on a neighbor, elderly or disabled neighbor, or just whoever. Just be careful. And I'm not sure if we got many listeners from the New York area, but I'm sure
my thoughts are with
right
with Buffalo as well.
I'm sure we have listeners in Taunton that have family members up in the New York area, and they're probably worried about it.
I know Paul has listeners up in the New York area. Paul Lazarovich, our Saturday morning host for Cranberry Country Journal. I know he has some people who listen in the New York area, the Oneonta, New York area, and other parts.
Oneonta, yeah, that's like central New York, I believe. So that's pretty close. They might be getting some of this snow.
So, yeah. So, all right, weather. The rest of the weather going on. Taunton. It is 30 degrees currently. There was, in the forecast, I think I mentioned this Thursday, possible snow in the forecast. However, not anymore. 40 degrees today, so it's not going to snow. Mostly sunny skies today. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, completely clear skies and highs of 43, 48, and 51. And Thursday, a high of 49. And Friday, to end the week, it is going to be raining, 54 degrees. So the temperature goes right back up. We have no threat of snow right now. But there was talk earlier in the week that we possibly could get snow. So I mean, we're in the time period where we could be getting snow at any time between now and Christmas. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. 32 degrees in Middleboro, 40 degrees today, a high of 40, low of 22 tonight, and pretty much the same weather this week for Middleboro as well. Driscoll, North Dakota. Not any kind of precipitation this week at all. Mostly sunny skies every single day from today until next Sunday. Today, currently, 11 degrees for the temperature right now in Driscoll, North Dakota. The lowest low is tonight, or right now. We're at the lowest low of the week for Driscoll, North Dakota at 11 degrees. A high of 27 today. The highest high of the week will be 39 degrees on Friday. So it's going to be pretty cold this week in Driscoll, North Dakota, but no snow. Driscoll, Texas, 43 degrees. So that's pretty cold as well. Cloudy skies right now, 50 today. A high of 48 tomorrow. But it will, by the end of the week, get into the 70s again. Thursday, 73 degrees and rain. You know what always is interesting to me, Don? Every time in the winter, when you have an abnormally warm day, at least around here, it seems like it rains.
Yeah.
It's interesting. When you have like a 50 or 60 degree day in the winter,
Well,
it rains.
Sometimes storms from the south, tropical storms, come with the rain.
Yeah.
Meaning that weather's coming from Florida or it's coming from somewhere in the south. And I guess maybe, I'm not a weatherman, but maybe that's the reason why it's so warm, because of that tropic air that it's trapped.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd rather deal with like 40 degrees and no rain. Rain's tough when you
It
drive
is,
for a
yeah.
while. It really is. It's tough, especially at night.
It is.
You can't see. It's dark. It's just hot. It's hard to deal with it. And there's a lot of knuckleheads out there driving too. A lot. I mean, there's more knuckleheads out there than ever.
Yeah.
So, my father would call them banana heads. But
All right, it is 7:22.
So that's a lengthy weather report, huh?
It is, yes, but there's some things going on.
Yeah, we got some. Yeah,
There's some things going on in this part of the region that
East region,
we want to talk about.
Yes.
So yeah, that is a lengthy weather report, but we're gonna move on in our next segment to Amtrak. We didn't talk about it on Thursday. There was no local Amtrak to talk about on Thursday, but we'll have a couple of Amtrak stories, I'm sure, during this next segment. All right, so we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back here on Middleboro in Review. You're listening to WVBF 1530 AM, 99.7 FM. We will be right back.
Motorcycle Association is an association of combat veterans from all branches of the United States Armed Forces who ride motorcycles as a hobby. Our mission is to support those who have defended our country and freedoms. Our focus is to help veteran care facilities provide a warm meal, clothing, shelter, and guidance, or simply to say thank you and welcome home. We have members from nearly all 50 states and living abroad. Many members continue to serve in our armed forces, with several serving in combat areas now. We sponsor and or participate in many motorcycle-related charity events each year, and as a nonprofit organization, donate to various veteran care facilities and veteran charities. To learn more about the Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association and how you can join or support, please visit cvma2-2.org.
Hi, this is Martha Klupin, your host for Medicare Moment with Martha.
Here's a good one.
We present the latest information on health.
Amtrak is planning to replace a 116-year-old Susquehanna River rail bridge.
Taste and fun as we explore all aspects of the Medicare maze. So join me
Where?
for
What's that?
Medicare Moment with Martha.
It says it's out of Baltimore, but I'll look at the article.
At 9 on AM 1530 and 99.7 FM.
The article. I'll read a little bit out of the article.
Hometown radio station.
Spark Street Auto
Yeah, I think that's that
located at
real long
48
one.
Spark Street in Brockton, Massachusetts, offers the highest quality collision repair and complete auto service for your car. They are a direct
Those bridges
repair
are
shop for all major
Yeah, it says out of
insurance
Baltimore.
companies. You can reach them at 508-583-1495.
Well, they're probably reporting out of Baltimore.
They're open
Okay.
Monday through Thursday.
I'll read the article.
It's probably north of
8 to
Baltimore.
4 on Fridays.
There's a couple water crossings on that
Do not
route.
be disappointed.
I know.
508-583.
Pretty sure Susquehanna River is in Maryland.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. You gotta read up on it before you go buy it, everybody.
Well, I'll read some of the article.
The sounds of the Emerald Isle. We'll have some great Irish music, some folk, traditional, country, and contemporary, and sometimes some live singers in the studio. And to make you laugh, some Irish comedy. That's Sundays from noon to 2, right here on WVBF 1530 Taunton, Middleboro, and on the internet at hometowntalkradio.com.
Come on. All right. Let's go back up. And we're back as I turn down the music here, and now it is 7:26 a.m. and let's talk about Amtrak. A little transportation topic today. We talked about South Coast Rail and the MBTA on Thursday. We didn't get to talk about Amtrak. But we'll talk about it now. This is I'm going to read a little bit off an article. This is from WMAR in Baltimore. Amtrak says it's planning to replace a 116-year-old rail bridge along the northeast corridor of the Susquehanna River. About 110 trains use the bridge daily, including Amtrak, MARC, and Norfolk Southern. The current bridge is movable and consists of 2 tracks, but has capacity limitations which requires trains to slow down when crossing. To speed up and enhance travel, 2 new fixed bridges will be built in its place. 5 additional miles of track realignment and construction is also expected to be completed as part of this project. Total cost of construction is estimated to be $1.5 billion. Some of that will be funded by the recent infrastructure bill passed by Congress. While the state has committed $3 million, the state of Maryland has committed $3 million so far towards the design. Contracts for the project will be rewarded sometime in 2023 as the longest movable bridge on the northeast corridor. The Susquehanna River Rail Bridge is used by Amtrak, MARC, which is Maryland Area Regional Commuter, and Norfolk Southern, and it supports more than 110 passenger and freight trains daily. And currently that bridge we're talking about requires trains to slow down to a speed of 90 miles per hour, resulting in capacity and reliability.
Slow down to 90 miles an hour?
Slow down to a speed of 90 miles per hour, yes.
That ain't bad.
And to resolve this issue, 2 newly constructed 2-track fixed bridges will replace the existing 2-track movable bridge. Construction manager at risk CMAR for the construction of the new bridges and design bid build contract for enabling works. Amtrak and Federal Railroad Administration plan to award both contracts in 2023. So, some pretty big news there out of the state of Maryland that, again, they're using the federal funds, the federal infrastructure money, to do some fixing up of rail bridges that are going to be very important to the state of Maryland on the Susquehanna River. Don, your thoughts about this?
Yeah, it is the longest bridge on the northeast corridor, I believe. Either that or the Hellgate Bridge in New York. But I know that bridge. I've been over it. If you travel 95, you see it on the side going over. The bridge is right there. It's a pretty long one. Yeah, it's good that at some point they have to replace all these old ancient bridges at some point. You talked a couple weeks ago about the Connecticut River Bridge. They were going to be working on that.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time before they hit them all. And slow down to 90 miles an hour, that's not a bad clip of speed going over an old bridge. I figured it'd be, I remember when I went over, I thought we were going slower than that, but who knows. But I mean, if you want 200-mile-an-hour trains to do the Northeast Corridor, you need to have all this infrastructure bumped up.
And I'm sure there's more areas that in the future on the Northeast Corridor that are going to get looked at. We talked about, like we said, the Connecticut River. We're now talking about Susquehanna.
Yep.
There are some other ones that probably will need to be looked at in the future.
The Thames River in New London, that bridge is old. That's got to probably have to be worked on. And there's other ones too. There's a few in New York, Connecticut, and a few in New York. I believe it's 467 miles on the Northeast Corridor from Boston to Washington. That is the Acela. That's Northeast Corridor, the Northeast Regional. And for the Acela, which can get up to 150 miles an hour, there's only like 32 miles of that whole 467 miles of track that you can go 150 miles. And some of it's in Massachusetts and other parts of Rhode Island, and that is it. through the Sharon stretch, I think through the Mansfield stretch right there. They go up those speeds, and then through Kingston, Rhode Island, that section of track, and most of Rhode Island, because it's there's actually no grade. There's only a few grade crossings on that whole stretch of the Northeast Corridor. If a grade crossing might be, I think there's one in Connecticut which goes out to a marina. There's some private driveways that have. I think there's one in Mystic, Connecticut, which is they're going at that point. The trains are going slow anyway because they're pulling up to a station. So there are areas where speed is limited because it just goes through everything. It just goes through such a thickly settled area. You think about it, a lot of these other countries and even states, they put high-speed rail on next to interstates. Put them on mediums, and you can go as fast as you want because there's no population in the middle of a medium strip on a highway. It's nothing's very thickly settled. And the test case is going to be that stretch from Cocoa Beach to Orlando Airport with Brightline open soon. Should be if you look into that, that's going to be open for real soon, I think. And that's going to be the stretch of track. I think that the train's going to be able to run 125 miles an hour, and it's all dedicated right away. And the tracks were brand new. They're not old infrastructure. They're not old right of ways. It was a brand new right of way from Cocoa Beach to Orlando. So I mean, it runs next to a highway median, a newer highway median. So it's just no population to deal with except for occasional alligator.
Also, there was we're talking on Thursday about the Silver Line in Dulles Airport, and you were wondering, you were saying that was going to open pretty soon.
Yeah.
Well, it's open.
Oh, it's open?
It's open, yes. It opened on the 15th. And
15th of November this month? Oh, wow.
Yeah. It opened. It's added 6 new stations.
Do you have a list of the stations?
Yes. Hold on a second. The list of the stations. Well, first of all, it's a 11.5 mile second phase. That's how long it is. The stations are this: Loudon Gateway, Dulles Airport, Innovation Center, Herndon, Reston Town Center. That's 5, I think, and Ashburn. So that's 6 new stations.
All right. So it goes past Dulles Airport. So okay, all right. We wrote it. What? 2014.
A while ago.
We wrote it to
a long time ago.
I forgot the last. Do you have any other station names there on that?
No.
But
not on that one, no.
Again, this ran in the median, right in the median strip. The Silver Line in Virginia, Washington Metro, ran right in the median strip of this highway, and the stations were like in the middle of the highway. So when you got off, you'd have to walk across a bridge, either the left or the right, west, either north or westbound or whatever the highway was going, and then you go out. But that's kind of the way to go, and that's a one-seat ride from D.C. Center, downtown Washington, D.C. to Dulles Airport, and all the towns that, and you'll see those towns really pop up too. I think that Silver Line is going to really work out. And sometimes rapid transit's the way to go instead of the commuter rail. I mean, all this heavy rail. I'm looking at our network in Massachusetts. A lot of these commuter areas can be overhauled and put into rapid transit, like the Fairmont line, for instance, running from South Station to Reedville, going through parts of Dorchester and Mattapan and parts of Hyde Park. That doesn't need to be a heavy rail station. They could just turn that into a regular rapid transit system. It's just, you don't need to run all that heavy rail, all that diesel, all that I mean, they put new stations and stuff like that. I mean, I wonder how hard it would be to pop in a third rail. And the stations are built. All they got to do is just make them, I don't know, just put, gates around them and put fare gates and whatnot, like the rapid transit system, like the Red Line would have, and just go with it and call it I don't know, call it something. You know what I mean? Call it the Silver Line. I don't know. Call it the Purple Line's taken, but the Yellow Line or anything.
All right. That is our transportation topic for today. A lot of interesting things going on.
Oh, that's good that you looked that up. I'm glad they finally opened that up because they had problems. They were having problems with cracks in the infrastructure, and that was supposed to open years ago, that Silver Line in Virginia.
I'm sure we'll have more information about
what's
going
opening
on.
up? You know what's opening up soon, too? You should keep your eye and mitts on that. Maybe the next month is the East Side Access, the opening of the Grand Central Terminal from Long Island. Long Island Railroad expansion, 160 years or 100 years expansion running from Long Island into Grand Central. They got a new platforms that are under the original Grand Central and Long Island Railroads, and I believe Metro North will be running too. I think it's gonna be all third rail. It's not catenary, and I'm not sure if there was some train cars that they couldn't bring in there because of the height restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if it's something where Amtrak is going to be coming in there or whatnot. I'm sure when they open it up, but right now it's for Long Island and maybe Metro North.
We'll keep an eye on that. I think we'll look into that this week, and maybe we'll have some more information on that next week. All right, blood drives. We have one coming up this week, Wednesday, November 23rd, 2022, Rosebrook Event Center, 50 Rosebrook Place, number 1 in Wareham, 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And that is it for November. We'll definitely have more when we get into the month of December. And 2 Thanksgiving events coming up that I want to mention in Taunton. Thanksgiving turkey giveaway at 309 Whittington Street, Taunton, Massachusetts. November 22nd, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. 100 turkeys will be distributed. To receive a turkey, you must register via phone or email. You can call 508-822-9222 or email confamilycharity@gmail.com. And also, coming up is the Caroline Cronin family will be once again providing a hot Thanksgiving meal to anyone who needs one at Mulcahy Elementary School, 28 Clifford Street in Taunton, on Thanksgiving Day. That will be from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., although there will be no on-site dining. Pickup and delivery are available according to a recent online post. They are indeed volunteers for the day before Thanksgiving and for delivery drivers on the holiday itself. Mail deliveries will begin at 11 a.m. on Thanksgiving. To set up a delivery, call by 1:30 p.m. on Tuesday, November 22nd. For deliveries in Taunton, call the Council on Aging, 508-821-1425. In Raynham, call the Council on Aging at 508-824-2740, or you can also call 774-301-0327. Anyone who is in need of a meal to be picked up or delivered is encouraged to reach out. For more information on meals or volunteering, visit Caroline Cronin's Family Facebook page or call 774-301-0327. That is, again, 2 events coming up on Thanksgiving and our blood drives that are coming up as well, which is the next one will be taking place in Wareham the day before Thanksgiving. So a lot coming on this week for events. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. It's 7:41. a.m. I'm Joey Driscoll. I'm joined by Dawn. This is Middleboro in Review, and you're listening to WVBF 1530 AM 99.7 FM. We will be right back. All right. Good. That will do it for that. Alright, 1, 3, 1. Come on.
I got my COVID-19 vaccination, and here's why. This isn't about gimmicks or sentiment or what commercial I like. This is about facts. COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective. Millions of doses have already been given in the United States, and these vaccines have the most intensive safety monitoring in U.S. history. People from different races, ages, genders, and ethnicities participated in large clinical trials around the world to make sure this vaccine worked for all kinds of people. The amount of time and effort dedicated to developing these vaccines was huge. Scientists use existing research and technology so they could get the vaccines developed quickly and safely without skipping any steps. If you need any more information, use a reliable source like the CDC website to get the facts.
Visit mass.gov/COVID booster for the latest vaccination information. A message from your friends here at WVBF.
Hi everybody, Tony Lopes here, and just want to remind everyone that you can listen every Tuesday to Coffee with Tony from 9 to 12. And now an extra treat. For a while, at least on Thursdays, it will be Coffee with Tony from 9 to 11. So Coffee with Tony, Tuesday 9 to 12, Thursdays 9 to 11 here on AM 1530, WVBF and 99.7 FM.
Give a shout out to Williams Trading Post.
Of Sacred Heart Church in Middleboro.
Oh, you're gonna start up the next week, right?
Next week, I think, yeah. That's why I'm gonna give a shout out to them now.
Yeah. You still have that old commercial laying around for the tree?
I don't know. I'm gonna do a new one, I think.
You do a new one at 10 o'clock. New one at 10.
No, I'm gonna do it Tuesday. Yeah.
Many of them come to us for various types of aid. This can take
Yeah, see, next week is
open, yeah.
They open now?
This is still last year's.
Yeah.
This is still last year's dates. Last year they opened on November 26th.
Yeah, they'll probably open
Right around that time.
Yeah, right after Thanksgiving.
Right after Thanksgiving, either 25th or 26th, something like that.
So you're gonna get an ad together for that for next week.
Yeah, I'm gonna get an ad together on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday. I got other things going on Tuesday as well that I need to record, so I'm gonna record it during that time.
Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association is an association of combat veterans from all branches of the United States Armed Forces who ride motorcycles as a hobby. Our mission is to support those who have defended our country in
That's next week.
Yeah,
so that's next weekend.
Yeah, well,
26th.
I mean, there's nothing on the website. No, there's nothing on the website.
There's nothing on the website, but
last year they opened after Thanksgiving.
They opened right after Thanksgiving.
We have members from nearly all 50 states
Yeah.
and living abroad.
Just tell them you'll have more information
Members
on
continue to serve in
Thursday.
our armed forces.
Should, yeah, maybe.
Should.
I
I
don't
should
know.
have. Maybe I'll have
We
information.
sponsor
I can
and
tell.
or
I don't know if
participate
I'll have
in
information.
many
Well, maybe. Yeah, they're gonna have something by then.
It's a possibility, yeah.
Well, you're not going on the air Thursday, are you? Did you ask Mark about that?
I gotta talk to Mark later today. I will. I'll talk to Mark
Association and how you can join
I don't know.
or support.
I'm assuming no.
CVMA.
Well, don't assume, Joe.
Alright, I don't know.
I mean, if you get
Because
shit,
the football game is from 10 to 12.
well, whatever. If you bang out a show, bang a show out. You know what I mean?
Alright. We'll see.
Jim's coming in, and everyone's gonna be here. You know what I mean? Jim coming in Thanksgiving?
I don't know. That's why I gotta talk to Mark. I don't know what's
Let's
going
talk
on.
to Mark. Don't know what's going
I
on.
really don't know.
You're definitely doing the news, right?
Yes.
He told you that, right?
That's a definite.
All right.
I don't know what else is a
Yeah,
definite.
that's all. Could definitely call him today. Tell me what's going on.
Maybe I'll call him before I leave.
First
as
thing
well.
Lori said to you, what happens when you assume?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Alright. And we're back as I turn down the music here. This was a little longer music there. But anyway, we're back here on Middleboro in Review. It is 7:46 a.m. Let's do our Today in History here a few minutes early, because end with a couple other things here. A couple of other events coming up for Christmas. And there's something I could read as well from the Massachusetts Department of Transportation as well for Thanksgiving week. So we're going to read that just in a second here. But we have our Today in Histories for today. We have two Today in Histories. The first one, 1820. An 80-ton sperm whale attacks and sinks the Essex, a whaling ship from Nantucket, Massachusetts. 2,000-mile, 3,200-kilometer from the western coast of South America. Herman Melville's 1851 novel, Moby Dick, was in part inspired by this incident. 1962, the Cuban Missile Crisis ends in response to the Soviet Union agreeing to remove its missiles from Cuba. U.S. President John F. Kennedy ends the quarantine of the Caribbean nation of Cuba. So those are the two Today in Histories for today. We have a lot of birthdays. First one we have 1866, Kennesaw Mountain Landis, American lawyer and judge. 1925, Robert F. Kennedy. We're just talking about John F. Kennedy. His brother, Robert F. Kennedy, was born on this day in November 20th, 1925. He was a U.S. Navy officer, lawyer, and politician. He was the 64th United States Attorney General. 1941, Dr. John, American singer and songwriter. Some really good tunes that he wrote and performed. Don?
Oh, yeah. I mean, also, too, Blues Brothers 2000, that soundtrack.
Yeah.
He's on that. And he's in the movie, too. At the end, they all do a jam. And that's something to get checked out. I mean, I know that movie and soundtrack didn't get much traction because it was overshadowed by the original, but there's a lot of great material. The movie's a lot of fun. It's not like the original, but John Goodman did a good job. I like John Goodman anyway, but that soundtrack is excellent. The music they have on Blues Brothers 2000 that came out in 1997 or 1998. But every song, I love every song on that album. There's a lot of good players on that album, for sure. Dr. John was one of them.
Yeah. President Joe Biden, our current United States president, his 80th birthday is today.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
American politician. Of course, he is the current president, the 46th president of the United States. 1942 as well, born on the same day. He's also 80. Norman Greenbaum, American singer, songwriter, and guitarist.
Everyone knows that song.
Yep, Spirit in the Sky. He's also a local guy as well. He's from Malden, Massachusetts.
Malden or Medford?
Malden.
Oh, okay.
Malden, yeah.
All
He's
right.
from Malden.
All right.
Spirit in the Sky. Of course, the biggest hit that he had, which is a really good song.
Yeah, that's a good song.
And Duane Allman, his birthday is today. 1946, November 20th. American singer, songwriter, and guitarist for the Allman Brothers. And one of the best bands in the Southern rock genre, for sure. The Allman Brothers, along with Leonard Skinner and a few others as well.
He went down in that plane crash, right?
Yeah, a few of the members, I think.
A few survived, and a few didn't make it.
Joe Walsh, 1947, born on this day. Several songs that he did. with the Eagles that were popular. He had a really good solo career.
And don't forget the James Gang.
The James Gang as well. Some songs that he released as solo when he was doing solo stuff. His solo hits include Rocky Mountain Way, Life's Been Good, which has seen a lot of radio play, All Night Long, A Life of Illusion, An Ordinary Average Guy. He
did that last one. That was like an 80s hit that he did. And the other ones were like late 70s. What's that one? Was it Land of Illusion? What is it?
Hold on 1 second. Let me go back up to the top here. And he's looking at his discography. Life of Illusion.
Life of Illusion. I'll tell you something about that one. That video is great because they're just hanging out in like a landfill. And he pulls up in like a... If you ever go on YouTube and check it out, Life of Illusion by Joe Walsh. The video is so funny. It's such a great video. It's really I don't know. It's really a clever video in my opinion. And it's just, I've always dug it. And sometimes growing up in the '80s with MTV, sometimes you identify with the video and it makes it enhances the song. Sometimes for me, that was the case.
His last solo album was in 2012. He put out a live album in 2013, but his last solo album was in 2012. Analog Man, definitely a recommendation as well.
Oh yeah, that wasn't bad.
It was really good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that was really good. And some really good tracks on that. Definitely a recommendation. And our last today birthday, November 20th, 1975. David Jonathan J.D. Drew, former MLB right fielder, began his career in 1998 with the Cardinals. He also played with the Braves, Dodgers, and Red Sox. And he's got two brothers who are also baseball players or former baseball players. Tim Drew and Stephen Drew. He played with the Red Sox from 2007 to 2011. He is a World Series champion, of course, with the Red Sox. He is also an All-Star. Some of his stats: batting average of .278, home runs of 242, and 795 runs batted in. Not a bad career for sure. During his college career, Drew broke 17 school and conference records. He attended the Florida State University. He played under the Florida State University baseball team and head coach Mike Martin at the time. He had a pretty good career for sure. J.D. Drew, part of that 2007 World Series championship team, the 2007 Boston Red Sox. Pretty important team there. So, it is 7:54. We have a few minutes, and let's mention, just read this little thing and talk a little bit about it. It is a little thing about Thanksgiving. And from the Massachusetts, well, it's not from the Massachusetts, I don't know if it's from the Massachusetts Department of Transportation, it's just talking about it. The Massachusetts Department of Transportation is predicting a heavy travel week between now and Thanksgiving, especially along congested areas like the Mass Pike and Interstate 93. AAA Northeast said last week that around 54.6 million people will be traveling 50 miles or more over the holiday, up slightly from last year. AAA is also predicting that 2022 will be the third busiest Thanksgiving for travel over the past 20 years. I-93 Braintree to Boston. Tuesday will be the worst day to travel, but every day except Thanksgiving will feature heavy traffic. I-93 Boston to New Hampshire northbound and southbound travel will be worse on Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday, but Tuesday will have the heaviest traffic. I-95, Rhode Island to I-93. Northbound travel should be okay all week, but southbound traffic will be very heavy, with Wednesday being the most congested day. And this brings up something I want to mention. Safety during the Thanksgiving weekend. When you're out traveling around, be careful, be safe. Traveling around. Anyone who's going to like a Thanksgiving party or something like that, Thanksgiving night, important to have a designated driver, and just important things like that. Just be careful driving on the roads as well on Thanksgiving. And Don, you have something. You're giving me
Yeah, I'm not giving you that finger. Also, too, you got to keep in mind that everyone's traditional routes are going to be plugged up. Traffic bad. So sometimes you think outside the box as far as travel. I mean, even if it means taking a secondary road or going like around, going a little longer roundabout way, at least you're not going to be sitting in bumper to bumper traffic. For example, maybe here, maybe considering going 495 to 95 to 295 to 146 to get up to the Worcester area. That's another way you can go. Or if you want to get over the 395 and that portions of Connecticut, you can go 295 to Route 14 through Rhode Island and go and come out at 395. There's just other ways you can go than just taking the highway. You can go. For instance, if you want to go west, you can always pick up Route 20. Just program your GPS for side roads. I mean, I know you're going to be hitting a lot of people don't know the highways. They depend on their GPS. Like, they just follow the GPS right into Fool's Ditch, right?
Yeah,
That was always the joke, because we talked about this ditch in Plymouth and Wareham, and it ran between Plymouth and Glen Charlie Road in Wareham. And I'm not sure, but I think they might have changed it or they blocked it off. But according to my brother, that wasn't Fool's Ditch where Jay, my nephew Jay, that wasn't Fool's Ditch where he went by.
Oh, okay.
No, it was somewhere else, so we didn't see it.
All right.
It looked like a ditch, didn't it?
It looked like a pretty significant ditch.
So a lot of people are really dependent on GPS, and the GPS is just going to take you to where all the other traffic is. So you got to think about going around all that. Maybe, I know there's not many around, but if you have an old atlas, pop it out and maybe take a look-see and just do it the old-fashioned way. Maybe you can skirt around through Western Rhode Island and work your way up to the Mass Pike until traffic's going. But just to sit and bumper traffic, you could go super-duper long way and get there faster in miles than would be just like sit an 11, 12 mile backup on the Mass Pike or going even. Maine's tough. There's not many ways, but you can go up Route 4. You can go up Route 125 up to New Hampshire, or jump on Route 4 and go through parts of New Hampshire that way. You got Route 25 in New Hampshire. You got parts of Maine. You can go up the Spalding Turnpike and cut across Sanford or any of those Dover, any of those towns, and just take secondary roads up to your destination.
All right, it's 8 p.m. on 8 p.m. 8 a.m.
8
There we
p.m.
go.
Somewhere else.
8 p.m.
Somewhere else.
Other side of the world.
Yeah.
It's not 8 p.m. It's 8 a.m. here. We're gonna say goodbye. Next up is the Bread of Life program with Pastor Ortez Vancross. Always a great message he has.
Yeah.
So,
and happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah, and happy Thanksgiving.
And check out the football game on Thursday.
Yes, there are Taunton and Milford here live on WVBF, and Middleboro and Carver will also have a game as well. So, bye-bye, everybody. I'm Joey Driscoll, joined by Don. This is Middleboro in Review, and we will talk to you next week. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.